Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of Transform Your Practice, Transform Your Life. My name is Kristina Schneider. I'm a practice success coach here at the Ultimate Estate Planner. And thank you so much for tuning into this episode entitled The Importance of a Live, Well-Trained Receptionist. Sounds like a big obvious, duh, right? But I can't tell you the number of times I've called the law firm and have either spoken to a receptionist who is part of one of those answering services or receptionist services, and they can't do anything for me. I might be on a Zoom meeting that I've scheduled with the attorney, and it's maybe 5-10 minutes past, and the best that they can do is leave a message. They can't get a hold of them because they're not physically located in the same, oftentimes the same state, even maybe even the same country. There's nothing that they can do. And so that is my experience, as a non-prospective law firm client. And I oftentimes go through these answering services and think about what is the experience of a prospective client? If I was a client of this law firm and I'm having trouble finding your office and I'm on my way, and the best I can do is speak to somebody who's answering the phone as a receptionist of your company, but can't give me directions, can't get a hold of anybody that physically is in your office. It's extremely frustrating. And oftentimes this is where there's miscommunication. And I would rather actually have it go to a voicemail. At least then I know you're just not available and you'll get back to me as soon as you can. It's more frustrating to talk to someone who seems like they're a representative of your firm, but they don't actually work for your firm. And look, I totally get it. You could be a true solo, and I'm not asking you to answer your phone, right? And every phone call that comes in. And so it could be a way that, a service that you get that bridges until you do get somebody trained and in your office to help you. But I will tell you that you have to think about your receptionist as a form of marketing, because it is. This is oftentimes going to be the very first experience that a prospective client is going to have with you and your firm. I'm usually pretty in shock about the number of times I've talked to attorneys and they tell me that they have hired a receptionist and she hates being on the phone. What? Why would you hire someone that hates being on the phone to answer your phones? That kind of energy, it's felt through the phone, right? I've had people tell me that they just let anyone answer in the office the phones. Again, not a good result, right? And so it's really important when you think about who's going to be the one answering the phones, their demeanor, their voice, just a good practice is that, it should sound like they're smiling through the phone. In all the years that I've worked for attorney Phil Cavish, he's always had a live receptionist, and I can promise you from 8:30 to 5, you are likely, there's a 99% likelihood that you will reach a live receptionist. And if you don't, you'll get placed through a voicemail message and a whole recording system that can route you back to the receptionist, and she likely will answer. And when they do answer, they answer all in the same way. And again, if you haven't thought through how you want your phones answered, I highly recommend that you just do a little test and call your own firm and see how your receptionist answers the phone, and act like you are a prospective client. They may have caller ID, so maybe you need to put that on block or call from someone else's phone, but just see how they answer it. Because I know that I recently spoke or reached out to a law firm that's pretty prestigious law firm that is well known. They had a live receptionist answer the phone, and the way that it was answered was law firm. And I was like, oh, excuse me, is so-and-so there? Yeah, can I help you? I mean, it was just very abrasive, very short. I didn't know what law firm it was. And so again, quality control that. You can actually script out how you want the phones answered. At Cavish Minor Notice, Phil's law firm, you can call their number and someone will answer the phone and they will say, thank you for calling the law firm of Cavish Minor Notice. This is Kristina, can I help you? And it is going to be that way regardless if the typical receptionist is covering the phones or someone else in the office is covering for the receptionist. So I really encourage that you think through who you have answering your phones, that you hire accordingly, and that you consider at a very, very last resort ever utilizing any kind of receptionist service or answering service of some kind. It is really a better result for your firm to have a live receptionist, because I also think of the continuity that happens when a prospective client calls your firm, speaks with your receptionist, and then comes in and actually is able to put a face to the voice and the name of the person that they spoke with previously. And for years, I've heard people, build their firm around their receptionist as somebody that really grew to be close to the clients, that the clients really loved calling and talking to and found help, through. And so I really, urge you to reconsider, some of these kind of low cost forms of phone answering services. I know that there's AI services and things like that. I think that people will respond much better to a friendly voice of somebody that they will see when they come in. So that's what I have for you today. If you haven't subscribed to our podcast, I highly recommend that you do so that you don't miss out on any episodes. And thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to tune in. And I look forward to tuning in with you very soon and helping you unlock your practice's potential. Goodbye, everyone.